What is up, everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time. This show sponsored by Fanduel, joined by two of the sharpest minds in the biz. We got one, Mr. Derek Carty, the inventor, creator, and CEO of the Bat and the Bat X Enterprises. What up, Carty?
What up?
Drove to X. Oh, hey, NFL preseason kind of sort of starts today. You excited?
I'm excited for the NFL regular season. NFL preseason is kind of garbage.
Yeah, that is true. But also, I feel like there's fun DFS edges to be had because, like, your average person, there's no way they can put together a good preseason lineup, right?
Yeah, there's definitely edge if you're putting the work in. You know, if you know who's actually going to play, that's a huge edge over the guy who's just going to play the starting quarterback. You know, he's going to play Patrick Mahomes because, and he's not going to play at all. So
right. Yeah.
You said one key word though, Roth. You said it's fun, which is the edge comes from not fun. It's from just following beat writers all day and hitting refresh and hit refresh. It's doable.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's fun. It's fun to win though.
Yeah. Winning money is fun, but yeah, that is a tedious way to go about it. We got Kirkwood in the house as well. Kirkwood, how you doing, man? You said you got the baby down to nap just in time for the show.
I timed it beautifully, and he obliged with everything. It's perfect right now, so I hope I don't blow it. But
yeah, right. We're gonna keep our voices down. This is gonna be a low key show here. Keep babies napping.
Scherzer.
Scherzer's a good play. There actually is a weather concern here. I wouldn't be shocked if we see a late start in Kansas City. It's gonna play fine regardless, but there's just one little shower upstream that looks like it's headed for Kansas City, like in the next 20 or 30 minutes. So maybe they announce a late start and they just let that little shower blow by and then they play without issue. So bottom line, if you hear of a late start, don't freak out. It's fine. And other than that, the weather is a non-issue, which leads us into the content side of things, the non-weather content. And we'll start off with a little Cardi talk. You want to go through some pictures for me?
Yeah, so we have Max Scherzer, we have Kevin Gausman, and we have a whole bunch of garbage.
Nice.
Like it's one of these small slates where options are limited. We have our clear top two guys, and anything else is going to be different. And probably you're just hoping that they don't implode. In cash, if you're playing cash on this slate, you're playing Gausman and Scherzer together, and that's it. If you're on FanDuel where you only get one, you have to make a choice. Similarly projected, similarly priced. I'll take Scherzer. He's a little cheaper. He projects a little better, but I'm not going to tell you you're wrong to do Gausman. Mm-hmm. And then in GPPs, you can play anyone except Scott Alexander, who's just going to be an opener. I think any of them are fine. They all project bad. They all project fairly similarly bad. They're all pretty cheap. If I had to lean towards one guy, it's my favorite out of these five or so. It's Brandon Pfaadt, or you ever pronounce his name?
Pfaadt.
Yeah, he's the second cheapest of them. He projects reasonably well, reasonably okay ownership. Like it's just, you're throwing darts at this point, but that's the guy that I think technically looks the best.
Okay, well, let me kick it over to Kirkwood here, because if there's two good pitchers and like five bad ones in a GPP, can't I just play one of the good pitchers and let other people make the mistakes? Or no, do you think you got to get a little different?
So that's the thing with this slate. So on FanDuel, certainly it's probably just one or the other. DraftKings, the thing is it's going to be everybody's going to play just Max and Gausman and just call it a day. Right. And so we have complete chalk offenses too. So this is like an extremely just all chalk. So probably game theory wise, it makes sense to go in some opposite directions here, but it's tough because like these other options project really a lot more poorly. So I like Payne personally. So I'm going to play Brady Singer. But the problem is like that's not even sneaky on this slate, right? Like he's like that's just where people are going to go to the next one because he came back to life in his last start with 10 Ks. Believe in the talent. He's had a horrible year. It's a watered down Mets lineup now with them shipping people out, and Yeah, so I like I said, I like Payne. So I'm trying to figure out which one I want to go to Max or Gaussman. And I usually in the heart of the summer, I usually take the guy pitching in a dome if if they're really close. But Gaussman just looks so good. Like his command is just so good. Like even when he doesn't pitch well, he gives up solo shots and like still racks up Ks. So I'm kind of leaning that way, but they're the same play today, except Baltimore is a little bit better of an offense than the White Sox.
Gotcha. Okay.
The other thing too is like everyone's going to play Gausman and Scherzer, and a lot of people are going to play them, together. Like he said, it's not like they're guaranteed to do anything. If one of them puts up 15 points, whichever of these cheap bad guys puts up 12 or 13, you're probably at a huge advantage because you save all that money. It's just, good luck finding whichever one of those, that's going to do that.
So do you think in a GPP, the play is like one of the more reliable pitchers and then one of the cheap guys and just kind of hope that is the combination that works?
Yes.
I think you can do that unless you're doing a really weird with,
I think two of them is just going to be too much to ask for. Like one of these guys, they should crush projection-wise these other options. So,
right. Okay. All right. That's easy enough. Well, you said, all right, pitchers kind of chalky and obvious. Hitting spots also kind of chalky and obvious, but Kirk would walk me through, the good spots and the bad, and maybe the bad that we're playing anyways.
All right. The best spot with team total, also the bat likes, and just common sense wise is Texas. Texas has been incredible this season. They just continue to pour it on. And they are facing Touki Toussaint, who had lost first of all, shouldn't even have been back this season, probably, pitching at the major league level. I don't know. They sent him to the bullpen, which is probably where he belongs. But now that they got rid of, a couple of their pitching options, he's the next man up and back in the starting rotation. He's not good. The bullpen is horrendous. They have they're the third worst Sierra on the slate, the highest home run per 9. And so Texas is the number 1 offense, and the bat agrees. I think, and then KC is looking like the next option, and they're cheap. They're price cheap. It's not hard, and it's not hard to just mix and match both of those two offenses because of the pricing, and even with with Max and Gaussman, and then maybe have to play a cheap punt like DJ Stewart or somebody like that is like min priced on the Mets. But that's the chalk. The next option would probably be the Mets, and then the Blue Jays.
Okay. Are there any of these not good teams that you're playing because you're trying to get different?
I mean, if I was building 150, which I'm not, I have one main lineup in like higher stakes GPP stuff, and I'm not wasting my time with these guys. But I mean, I would take stabs on everybody if I was 150 maxing.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Cardi, what are you doing here stack wise? Obviously, Texas is the spot to start.
Yeah, Texas is the best. I don't think they're the best by a lot. Like just about every team on this slate is viable. I think every team except the White Sox, I'd probably have interest in to some extent. My favorite's probably the Royals. You're getting them really cheap. Carlos Carrasco is just terrible. So I like the Royals a lot.
Dog water is the new term I've been trying to get people to say.
Dog water. Carlos Carrasco is dog water.
Yeah, absolute dog water. Let's see if it works.
So that's what I like. I also totally think you can do an Orioles stack against Gausman.
Okay. All right.
Former Oriole Kevin Gausman.
Oh, they got the inside
former
track
Oriole.
on him.
It's like the reverse revenge narrative, I think, right?
Yeah. All right. I suppose we'll go around the horn here and go position by position. And Carter, you can lead us off with a little catcher talk. Hey, did I mention this show is sponsored by Fanduel? Make sure you sign up for the Fanduel Sportsbook. If you're in a legal sports betting state, take advantage of their awesome bonus offer. New customers can bet $5, get $100 in bonus bets. Terms and conditions do apply. And the RotoGrinders sponsored FanDuel single entry series ongoing as well. those games I think are the evening slate, but make sure you're getting in those as well. Cardi, what are we doing at catcher?
Top guy, Salvi. I mentioned really liking KC. I think he's a top catcher on the slate, reasonably enough priced where you can get up to him if you want. Certainly in your stacks, certainly as a one-off. In cash, I think he's viable. You also have Mitch Garver in the Texas lineup, and we know we like Texas, and Garver's very reasonably priced. If you need to save more than that, you have Freddie Furman for 2.8, also in the KC lineup, just at a cheaper price point than Salvi and not as good of a hitter. And then Adley Rutschman, I like a lot in tournaments. I mentioned Baltimore stacks being viable, and Rutschman, you can either do that with, or you can just play him on his own.
Yeah. Kirkwood, your thoughts of catcher? Anything different?
I mean, Salvi's the top number one play. Like he said, Mitch Garver, just because of the offense he's on, would be my number two. You can pay Alejandro Kirk. Yeah, I mean, it's Freddie Furman for the cheap option that probably gets overlooked because people are just it's so easy to play Salvi. So I think that's kind of a good option, actually. Just hoping he outscores him.
Okay. Bring me to first base.
All right. First base. Wow, Salvi's first base eligible. I didn't see that. Nate Lowe is my favorite option at 4,200 for Texas, just picking on Tukey in that bullpen. I mean, from there at Pete Alonso, you can always play. Obviously, Singer's had a up and down season, a lot more down. And, he came out of the woodworks and crushed a couple balls the first game after all the trades. So he's been heating up a little bit, but regardless, he's just a good option. I don't know what Vlad is a good option too, pay up, and I think he's going to get a little bit lost on this slate because it's just so easy to go the other options, and even on the other side of that, like Mountcastle for a home run against Gaussman, I think would make for a good GPP play. I don't know what to do in San Francisco, Lamont Wade Jr., because every time I play this guy, he gets benched. Like after it's just so maddening. This San Fran, how they Gabe Kapler, how they manage their lineup. But yeah, that's about it. Maybe Christian Walker actually is probably a good GPP play.
Okay, Carter, your thoughts first.
Yeah, like he said, I think people are going to gravitate towards Nate Lowe, towards Pete Alonso, but Vlad's the best play on this slate. I like him for cash. I like him for tournaments, especially because he's going to come in lower owned than some of these other guys. But he's Vlad. Like, he's a significantly better hitter than Nate Lowe. And on FanDuel, he's only $100 more. So I think it's silly not to play him. If you need to save money, I'd go cheaper with Lamont Wade or with Brandon Belt. And then over on DK, where Vlad's a bit more expensive, I think it's more justifiable to play Nate Lowe or Lamont Wade. But Vlad is my favorite for all formats on this slate.
All right, second base.
Marcus Semien is going to be our top guy here. And on FanDuel, I think he's pretty easy to get up to. If you need to save money, you have Jeff McNeil for 2.8K leading off against Singer. You have Michael Massey for 2.5 against Carrasco. I think either one of them are fine. On DK, where Semien is 6.1, I think you're probably just playing McNeil or Massey. And that's kind of second. It gets gross after that.
It kind of always is. Kirkwood, anything different there at second?
The one interesting thing that I was trying to make happen, and it's really hard to make happen, is to fit a Texas stack with Semien and Adolis Garcia on it. And so I think that's worth trying to make happen. If you can, you're going to have to take some bad players to make that work, especially if you're probably going to have to take one cheaper pitcher. But I think that combo will be under-owned today. Other than that, it's everyone he said. Jeff McNeil is like the value play at 3,800. He's batting leadoff. Michael Massey is the cheap with a good matchup against Carrasco. He's at 2,300. He's got some pop, could go yard, but everyone else is kind of. I mean, Whit Merrifield you could always play, sure, especially against Flaherty. We don't know what we're going to get out of him, but everyone else is just kind of a pure punt from there.
Okay, third base.
Third base over on DraftKings. Garcia is the cheap, chalky option. Miguel Garcia leading off with against Carrasco. Josh Jung is somebody, you know, it would. I don't think I could get Jung in there with Semien and Adolis Garcia. But again, if you can make it happen, Brett Beatty, JD Davis has been a regular everyday playing time. No one's going to play that Arizona San Fran side, especially San Fran, because it tilts everyone gets tilted on that offense like I do. So I think he's worth just owning just for the pure home run upside. And I'll let Cardi. I'll save a couple for Cardi.
Cardi, you got some other names for me at third?
Yeah, I mean, Garcia is the guy I really like because I just think KC is one of the best options today, probably the best option that isn't Texas. And Garcia is a guy I've been gravitating towards a lot lately. He's just underpriced for how good he is and for his leadoff role in this offense. So Garcia is my favorite. One-offing Matt Chapman or one-offing Gunnar Henderson, I think is really good as a GPP play today. And the guys, Kirkwood mentioned.
Okay, that brings us to shortstop, Cardi.
Shortstop. So Bobby Witt Jr., best hitter on this KC offense that I've kind of been hyping up all show. So he's the guy I want to get to if I can, and I think you can certainly do it reasonably enough priced on both sites, especially FanDuel. You do have Corey Seager, who's going to be very popular as well and who's really good. And that's kind of it. I mean, people are going to play Lindor, but I don't like him as much as I like Witt or Seager. And I'm not sure you're going to get like a huge ownership discount.
Kirkwood, short.
Corey Seager, cheaper on DraftKings, came back with a vengeance yesterday with a homer in his first game back. Or was it his, it was his first game back. Bobby Witt, like Derek said, Lindor. I mean, we have good options here. This is a good position. Lindor, Bobby Witt, Seager all have, good upside. Gunnar Henderson's in play. If you need to punt it and you need it, it would be Brandon Crawford. Perdomo's interesting. Just that Arizona offense in general is interesting. They're aggressive on the base pass. And they can rack up points. It's again, they're facing a bullpen game, so it's going to be annoying for the lefty-righty matchups, but it's going to go away overlooked.
Yeah. All right. That brings us to the outfield. What do we have there?
All right. We've got some cheap options. We've got some big options. So my favorite bat is Adolis Garcia, 5,800. It's tough to make him work, but he's my guy. MJ Melendez is the cheap best option, batting third, brings a little bit of power, a little bit of speed to the table against Carrasco. DJ Stewart is like the cheap punt at 2,100, batting second against my boy today, Brady Singer, but certainly I get the play. He's a good play, home run upside. Then we have guys like Corbin Carroll. Jock is probably a good, pretty decent bet for a home run today. I don't know. Let's see what I don't want to take everybody here. Probably already
All
did.
right, Cardi, you want to throw me some more names?
Yeah, I mean, those are the main guys. DJ Stewart's the guy you're using to save money on both sites. MJ Melendez, I love. Jock, especially on FanDuel, is great. If you're not playing McNeil at second, you can play him in the outfield. You have a cheap Josh Smith in the lineup for Texas, who I think is viable. You have a cheap Samad Taylor for KC, who I think is viable. I don't hate Benintendi against Scherzer on DK at his price. That's outfield.
Okay. That leads us to a couple home run picks, and we'll take some QQs and we'll bounce. We got 15 minutes until lock. We might hang out that long. We might not. It depends. We'll see what kind of questions we get. I want to get Kirkwood off the show while a baby naps so he can just relax for like 5-10 minutes. That's my goal.
We're good. We're good. He's being a good boy.
All right. Let's see. We'll how about a home run pick? Kirkwood, you got one for me?
I got a sweet honey hole homer today.
Oh, the honey hole homer. Oh man.
Yeah.
Let's hear
This
it.
is a play that's gonna be, semi low owned ish, and people aren't gonna want to play it. But we're gonna go with Dalton Varsho off Flaherty at 3,500, batting 7th down in the order. We're gonna try to catch one here today. So that's the Sweet Honey Hole Homer, first one debuted today. So I hope it hits, and it's not an easy one to get through either. But my
We
main
need a
one,
honey hole homer every single day from now on.
a Sweet Honey Hole Homer. Adalis Garcia is my main one.
All right, very good.
Juggalo
Cardi,
bomb. That's the Juggalo bomb.
Okay, Cardi, you got a couple names for me. You don't need to have like bits. They can just.
I don't have a Sweet Honey Hole Homer. Nothing that good. No. Top guy overall is Vlad. I think sneakier stuff. Santander and Mountcastle for Baltimore both project really well for a homer, and no one's going to play them because they're facing Gaussman. For betting, Conforto plus 1025 at Bet365 looks good, and Bobby Witt for plus 825 also at 365.
Okay, very good. Let's take a few of these QQs, starting in the RG Discord. A little quiet there right now. If you're watching on YouTube, two things. First, hit us a little thumbs up. Second, make sure you join the RotoGrinders Discord. It's a party in there these days, man. We are making a concentrated effort to hang out there, answer all your questions. There it is. It is free, by the way. You can get in the live stream chat. Just go to rotogrinders.com/Discord. And if you think Discord is like overwhelming and a little scary, I did too. I was terrified of it. Turns out it's kind of easy. It's really.
Just think of it as a sweet honey hole. It's very sweet. It's very easy.
Yeah, it is. It is a sweet honey hole of a chat.
Come jump in the hole. Come get in this hole.
Okay. All right. Alan says, are we going to get banned from YouTube? Probably. To be clear, YouTube, honey hole is a fishing term. Let's take some QQs. Scrolling up just a little bit here. On Fanduel, Jeff Windsor says, hey, Cardi, Garcia or Carroll?
Fanduel, Garcia, or Carroll?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually, I think it's Garcia.
Yeah. All right. Anthony says, DK Cash, it's a 3v3. Kirkwood, this is yours. Garver, Simeon, Jankowski, or Perez, Massey, Garcia?
Perez, Massey, Garcia.
Very good. Cardi, any interest in Gurriel for a one-off?
Not really.
Yeah. All right. That's fair. Will says, who do you like as a pitcher tonight? Well, we like the top two guys, Scherzer and Gaussman. Was that it? Scherzer and Scherzer and Gaussman. And then if you had to mix it up, if you had one third pitcher, give me each of your favorites that are not named Scherzer or Gaussman. Cardi, you can go first.
They're all garbage, but Brendan Pfaadt is probably my favorite.
Kirkwood, you got a favorite that is not one of those top two, even though they are garbage?
Yeah, I'm playing Brady Singer today. So whoever wants to join me and watch our money float away,
Yeah. All right.
Come on in the water. No, he talent's there. You got to do something a little different.
All right. Basically caught up on all the questions already. Let's see. Boss Bro says favorite stacks. Everybody's favorite stack is Texas, but a non-Texas favorite stack. Kirkwood, you can lead us here.
I'm going to say, well, KC is going to be the obvious one that everyone picks, but I'm going to say go down even lower to Toronto.
All right. Cardi?
Yeah, if it's not KC, give me Baltimore.
Okay. Very good. Hey, we have answered all the questions. We've given all the pitchers. We've given all the hitters. And I think we can bounce on out of here. Haven't heard anything about that late start. Let me real quick check a little radar. Do we want pitchers in KC?
Only me.
Only
I do.
Okay. I mean, it's raining like now. They might. I still think they'll maybe just call a late start, or maybe they'll just play through some showers, but it'll only last like 20 minutes. So no major issues there. I think with that, we can bounce on out of here. Of course, we're going to be back later on tonight. So for Cardi, for Kirkwood, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you later today. You have been crushed.